Guys, welcome back. Last week I told you all that the market is going to start going parabolic. Now, at the time of the update, Bitcoin was around $82,000. We're now at $86,000 and we're making our way towards $90,000. And that's where the real fun will begin. But as I said last week, Bitcoin isn't going to make you rich. Altcoins are. Now, the altcoin market has started to move up in value since that previous update. You've all probably noticed a slight change in your portfolio. People are now getting more optimistic, but we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, because what's about to happen next is your ticket to freedom. Yes, it's a part of the cycle where you make a substantial amount of money, where you can actually change your life. Now, in this particular video, I'm going to show you how to get rich in crypto without getting lucky. So let's get straight into it. Now, to begin with, everybody here now understands that altcoins is where their fortune is going to be made. Now, this could be in the meme coin segment of the market. For example, we literally just gave out a meme coin project in the group that's up now over 20%. That will happen within minutes of giving out that call. Now, it could also be in the AI segment. It could be in layer ones. It doesn't really matter what segment it's in. You have an opportunity to ultimately capture high percentage gains. Now, what your job right now is to identify key areas of the market where we're likely to see the highest percentage gains. Now, for example, meme coins to begin with are actually going to do very well. Now, it doesn't matter if you believe in meme coins, whether you don't believe in meme coins, we're going to see that segment go absolutely bananas, right? We're going to see 10x's, 20x's, 50x's, 100x's. This is all going to happen within the next few weeks, right? So it's the highest risk segment of the market, but that is where you will see some of the highest percentage gains. So if I were you guys, I would start looking for, specific chains that are undervalued. We're already doing this, right? So we're doing this on a particular chain. Again, join Crypto Crew Premium if you want access to that. I literally just went through about 7 to 8 projects that you can all enter right now. Some are under $1 million market cap, right? That are going to do extremely well over the next few weeks, right? But let's say you don't want extreme risk. Well, there's other areas that you could start looking at. For example, utility tokens. Utility tokens are going to do very well, particularly US-led projects, right? We're going to see an America first buying strategy when it comes to cryptocurrency projects. So this is another narrative you could focus on and get ready for, because once again, a lot of money is going to be made. Now, your job is to identify what you believe is going to be the biggest winners. Now, let's stop right there. What have we done so far? We started to narrow things down. So we weren't just talking about, one project or 2 projects. We started off with narratives, segments that we can start buying from. So for meme coins, we want the highest value, the best value, the ones with the highest percentage gains, undervalued, and then we go forth and start buying in that segment, right? Same with utility tokens. Okay, what is going to do well? Narratives, US led, etc., right? And then we start buying, right? So that's the approach you need to have, right? Remember, as I said before, you're competing with these institutional investors. You're competing with some of the most sophisticated investors in the market at the moment. And to be quite frank, I still believe 95% are going to lose. But you have the opportunity to have a head start and make a fortune within this process. So now we've started to identify narratives and also segments of the market. Now, this is the common mistake that a lot of people make in the meme coin segment of the market. What they do is they will focus on one project and that's it. So they'll find one project, it may have done well, maybe they're up 200%, 300%. So they just, basically put all their hopes and dreams on that one project. But the issue is, if that one project doesn't perform, well, guess what happens? Now you've missed out on opportunity to make a 10x there, 20x there, 30x there, 50x there, and you maybe walk away with 100, 200%, which again, you can't go broke making a profit, but I'm assuming many of you aren't going to be investing 500K or $1 million into the market. So if you're only investing a few $1,000s, you're looking for 10x's plus to make a significant impact. Because remember, all you need is a 10 to 50x to begin with, right? The 100x's, you could, well, there are 100x opportunities. We're already buying some in Crypto Crew Premium, as I said, but to keep it simple, all you need is a 10 to 50x to begin with, because that will be your seed capital that will then allow you to scale up, right? So if you turn 1,000 into 10 or 20,000, well, then you need one more 10x on that to make 200K or $100,000, right? So that's what you're focusing on now. And the reason why focusing on one project just doesn't make sense, because if it doesn't do well and you only make, 200, 300% gain, well, now, okay, you've turned 1,000 into maybe $3,000, $4,000, but it's not going to change your life, right? And then on the second phase, all you're going to be able to scale up to is maybe 40 or 50K. Once again, you can't go broke making a profit, but it's not going to make you rich. And that's why you're all here, right? So what I would do instead is I would start focusing on a few projects, right? I would build up a nest egg in a basket. You don't want to do too many projects, right? So if you just start throwing darts, hoping for the best, well, then you end up with the issue of you can't actually manage these projects. You can't stay on top of the news data, which means ultimately you're going to lose, because at some point they're going to crash, right? So you don't want to go too crazy, but at the same time, you don't want to do a few projects, right? So with that being said, guys, we're going to move into part 2 now, where we're going to discuss this further.